Hi everyone, I wanted to read you a chapter out of my book today. This is Real Life Fairytale. The Magic Begins. I absolutely love this book. It means the world to me. A lot of what's in this book has actually happened to me in real life, and obviously I'm still going with the process. The more you read, the more you will find things out. I'll start with the first chapter. I'm so excited to get you to see this. The first chapter is called The Fairy Tale Dreamer. Crystal had always believed in fairy tales. As a young girl, she would twirl around her room, imagining she was a princess awaiting a prince who would sweep her off her feet and show her love, so deep, so real that it would feel like magic. Her journals from back then, with their glittery gel pens, scrawls, and hearts dotting every I, were filled with notes about her future, about him, the one, her very own Prince Charming. But fairy tales, she quickly learned, looked quite different in real life. Now sitting cross-legged on her worn sofa, Crystal flipped through her journals with a mix of nostalgia and mild embarrassment. She cringed at the younger version of herself, desperate for someone to save her, to make her life feel complete, and yet a small part of her still held on to that hope, even after years of relationships that left her feeling empty. The men she had dated were all variations of the same theme, unavailable, uninterested in her dreams, and somehow unable to truly see her. They admired her independence and loved that she didn't need anyone to take care of her. But Crystal knew that was just a polite way of saying they liked her as long as she didn't need anything. And she did need things, things like affection, honesty, and yes, a little romance. In her journal, she scribbled a question that had been haunting her for years. Why does something always feel missing? She threw her pen down, groaning. It's like I'm cursed with the wrong guy magnet, she muttered to her cat Leo, who stared back unimpressed. Maybe I'm destined to be the single girl with 20 plants and a well-worn Netflix subscription. Her friends had taken turns trying to set her up with various men, each time convinced they'd found the one. For her, there was Jeff, the nice guy, seemed to love his fantasy football league more than any living person, and David, the only overly intense artist who believed they had a spiritual connection. After one coffee date, and then of course there was Alex, her most recent ex, who had once promised her the world but ended up ghosting her when things got a little too real. Crystal sighed, grabbing her journal again. She wrote, They all feel so close to something real, but I'm always left waiting, like there's a piece they can't give me. As she wrote, memories surfaced of her first real relationship back in college. His name was Matt, and he was everything she thought she wanted. He was charming, confident, and just mysterious enough to keep her intrigued. For a few blissful months, she was certain he was the one. They'd talk for hours about their dreams, their plans, the future they would love have together, but soon little cracks began to show. Matt's charm turned into emotional distance, his confidence into arrogance, his mysterious nature into a wall she could never quite scale. Crystal poured everything she had into that relationship, trying to prove she was worth his love. She thought if she could just be better, more fun, less needy, then maybe he would love her fully. In her journal from that time, she wrote, It's that it's like there's this part of him I can't reach. Maybe it's just not enough. Looking back now, she could see the pattern. Every time she was in a relationship, she felt this subtle nagging doubt like something was missing, something that she couldn't name but desperately wanted to believe was real. As she scribbled in her journal, Crystal felt a wave of frustration wash over her. It was as if her whole life had been spent waiting for someone else to complete her, to give her a sense of purpose. She was tired of it, tired of feeling like she was almost enough, like love was almost just out of reach. It was then that a strange thought hit her, something she'd never considered before. What if I'm the one I've been waiting for? The idea felt absurd at first, but there was something liberating about it. She didn't need someone else to rescue her, to give her a fairy tale ending. Maybe she could create her own happily ever after. The notion lingered, filling her with a sense of curiosity and possibility, and yet a voice in her head whispered, "Yeah, right, you need love from someone else. You're not going to feel complete on your own." Still, she couldn't shake the feeling. There was something there, a faint glimmer of truth. She picked up her journal again, writing with a new kind of determination. What if I just focus on loving myself for a while? No more trying to be perfect, no more waiting for someone else to save me. I'll create my own fairy tale, and that doesn't need a prince to feel complete. Her friends would probably laugh. If she told them about their revelation, they were all coupled up, living lives that seemed to fit perfectly in a world of relationships and romance. Crystal, on the other hand, had always been the dreamer, the one waiting for love that felt like magic. And maybe, just maybe, she could be that magic for herself. But as she closed her journal, she felt a mixture of relief and fear. The journey was going to be different from anything she'd ever tried. It was both exciting and terrifying to think about. What if What it would mean to love herself deeply, to stop looking outside for validation. Could she really be her own fairy tale? As she pondered this, a strange sense of peace settled over her. It was as if, for the first time, she was giving herself permission to be enough, exactly as she was. And with that, she made a quiet promise to herself. I'm going to figure out who I am, and I'm going to love her. The night stretched out around her, silent and still, as if the universe itself was holding its breath, waiting for what could come next. The next morning, Crystal went about her routine, not really expecting anything to feel different. But as she left her apartment, she glanced down at her phone and saw the time, 11:11. She paused, feeling a strange shiver run down her spine. She'd seen that number a lot lately, but she had brushed it off as a coincidence. Today, though, it felt different, like a small message from the universe, a gentle nudge saying, "You're on the right path." Smiling to herself, she whispered, "All right, universe, I'm listening." As she walked out into the world, she carried with her a quiet sense of purpose, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something extraordinary. She had no idea what lay ahead, but for the first time in a long time, she felt hopeful, not because someone else was going to save her, but because she was finally ready to save herself. And that's the first chapter. I'll talk you through each chapter so you can see what the layout's like of the book, but the next chapter is called The Last Straw. On each page, every journal entry from Crystal is in a different script of writing. She likes to write in her journal a lot. That's the next chapter's the breakdown and the awakening. I don't want to do all the chapters because it might give it away a bit. The language of the universe. What I'll put is, like you can see, there's a lot of page on each chapter. I put an image to separate it to give you an idea. This is the blurb on the back. The real life fairy tale. Imagine discovering that the fairy tale you've always dreamed of isn't somewhere out there. It's right in front of you, waiting to be awakened. In real life fairy tale journey with a heroine who learns that the magic, the love and purpose she's been searching for were within her all along. With each chapter, unravel mysteries, follow hidden synchronicities, and feel the thrill of destiny guiding her steps. This isn't just a story, it's an invitation to see the magic in your own life. Dare to believe in miracles, because real life fairy tale will remind you that your dreams are closer than you think. I absolutely love this book. It just gives me goosebumps every time I read it. But you can grab your copy now. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link in the comments section. The links also will be in my bio. So grab your copy now. Thank you very much. Love you. Bye-bye.